Limit orders, limit orders, limit orders. Talking about why I only use limit orders to buy and to sell stocks. How I'm entering trades, how I'm exiting trades, and the overall idea behind using limit orders. I've been using limit orders for the last really 2 years. It's all I've ever used, and I'm gonna talk about it in this video, kind of what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and why I'm doing it in this video. So make sure you stay tuned. Today I want to talk about limit orders, why I'm using limit orders, why you should be using limit orders, and the whole idea behind limit orders. Have I said it enough? Limit orders, limit orders, limit orders. I feel like Jason Bond right now with trade, sleep, eat, sleep, trade, eat, sleep, trade, limit orders. All right, so you can see here, I pulled up this little montage to get a better idea. I can break this down and show you a little bit better of an idea of why I'm using limit orders. So let's say I wanted to buy GoPro stock. Now, maximum that I want to pay is $5.25. But I want to enter the stock. I want to get into it. It's moving higher, momentum, whatever. I want to buy the stock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy with a limit order. I already have my montage set up so it always shows limit orders, market stop. I can go right there. I got my limit order set up, and I'm going to basically put my price to $5.25. Now, when I click buy, obviously it's not going to work right now because it's the weekend. But when I click buy, and I want to buy 1,000 shares, I'm going to take 1,000 shares from this seller right here at $5.25. Now, here's the important thing to think about. Let's say the stock is very volatile, it's moving fast, and I want to buy at $5.25 because I want to get in for that move higher, the momentum, following that momentum. All of a sudden, the ask is now $5.35. So the big difference here is instead of using a market order, let's say if I'm using a market order, I go here, I click market order, and I click buy, I'm going to get filled basically at whatever the market price is. So let's say that GoPro goes from $5.35 to $5.50 like that, which we see happen a lot. We see a lot of volatility, these low float stocks, we've seen them move just like that. So instead of only getting filled at $5.25, I might get filled all the way up there to $5.50. And a lot of times that's what happens. With a market order, you're normally going to get filled with a really bad fill. So right now the ask is at $5.25, which you can see here on level 2. On the right hand side is the sell side. On the left hand side is the buy side. And if I'm buying on the ask with a limit order, and I put my order through at $5.25 with my limit order, I click $5.25. That's the maximum amount I will pay for these shares. Now, that does not guarantee I will get a full fill. If the stock jumps to $5.50, I might only get 500, 600, 800, 900 shares instead of that full 1,000 shares, which sometimes it can be detrimental. Other times it can work in your favor. Instead of getting filled all the way up to $5.50, I only get filled at $5.25, so I'm protecting myself. Let's say you want to buy 5,000 shares, right? You want to buy 5,000 shares of GoPro. And right now you can see that the bid is at $5.20 and the ask is at $5.25. So I click to buy with a limit order at $5.25, and all of a sudden I buy all the shares at $5.25, but I didn't get my full fill. I only got 4,000 shares out of the 5,000. Instead of getting filled at a higher price, I'm only going to get filled at that point. So I've also got it set up here. So basically you can do any, you can do all or none. All or none basically means you're not going to get filled unless you can get that full order. With me, I'm normally always just getting any because I don't care. As long as I can get some type of fill, I get some type of fill. There's different ways to set it up, but right now we're just focusing on the idea of why I'm using limit orders, why you should be using limit orders as well. Hey, really quickly, if you are still watching this video and you enjoy these videos, the content and all that, make sure you hit the like button down below. Also, do me a big favor. if you have some comments or you have some advice, or maybe you have a different idea or overall philosophy on how you buy and sell stocks, leave a comment down below. Don't be afraid to voice your opinion. Also, if you're a first-time watcher, a first-time viewer, do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's get back to the video. If I'm going to sell, same idea. Let's say I have 5,000 shares and I want to sell it at a limit order price of $5.20. Again, the stock is volatile. It's jumping up. It's jumping down. It's all over the place. And I want to sell it at $5.20 into the bid. Remember, the left-hand side is the bid. The right-hand side is the ask. What can happen here is, let's say I go to sell all 5,000 shares at one time, which a lot of times, depending on the stock, the volume, it can have a effect on the price of the stock if I'm trying to sell a large size. So if I go and sell 5,000 shares at $5.20, level 2 is showing that there's somebody sitting there at $5.20 trying to buy 800 shares. So I'm only going to get filled 800 shares of that $5.20, of that 5,000 shares that I want to sell. Depending on the move, depending on the overall price action, it's not always a bad thing. Because what happens here, let's say I try to dump 5,000 shares with a market order and I want to get filled at 520, but you can see there's a buyer there at 515. Depending on the price action, depending on the overall movement of the stock, what happens if this 515 buyer steps away and all of a sudden the only buyer left is the 502 buyer? If I'm getting filled with a market order, I'm going to get filled all the way down there at $5.02. So I'm basically getting 18 cents of slippage. So I got to be careful, and I got to understand that if I try to get filled with a market order, I can get filled all the way down there at $5.02. Now, again, I need to make it clear, if I'm trading with a limit order, I'm only going to get filled at that price, the $5.20. That's the minimum, or I guess the maximum price that I'm going to get filled at. And really, it's the minimum price. What happens, let's say you're trying to get filled there at $5.20. Now the stock drops to $5. You can't get filled. It's going lower. It's going lower. It's going lower. That's the one kind of circumstance where might have been better off using just kind of a market order to get out, to try to sell at that point. But if the stock is moving the way we're moving, we're trying to take small size, trying to get out of it, as it's moving higher, and I'm trying to just dump a little bit, I feel okay with the limit order. Same idea. A lot of these stocks, even when they're dropping down, let's say GoPro drops below $5, it's really volatile, it's jumping all around. I got to be careful selling with a market order because I might get filled at the worst possible fill. And the reason I'm using limit orders is I'm actually figuring out, okay, this is where I want to get filled at. This is what my limit is in terms of selling the stock. I want to get filled at 520. That doesn't mean I'm going to get all my shares filled at 520, but that's going to be the minimum I can get in terms of price. Now, the one nice thing about using a limit order when you go to sell, let's say all of a sudden you're going to sell GoPro. You want to sell GoPro and your limit order is $5.20. Well, all of a sudden, the bid jumps to $5.40. You're going to get filled at $5.40. You're not going to get filled at $5.20. Just because you want to get filled, just because your order says $5.20 and the stock is now at $5.40 does not mean you're going to get filled at $5.20. It means that the minimum you're going to get filled is $5.20. If the price jumps to $5.50, $5.40, you're going to get filled at $5.40, $5.50. Remember, like I said earlier, these stocks can be very volatile. They can jump up. They can jump down. We've seen the price action go crazy where we have a price of $5 and literally a split second later, the price is then at $5.20. And then a split second later, it's at $5.50. So we get a lot of volatility, a lot of action. And that's one of the big reasons I'm using a limit order for basically all of my action or all of my trades. I'm always using limit orders. So hopefully this gives you guys an idea really quickly here. You can use a stop limit order. You can use a stop market order. That's a different video in itself, but really I'm just trying to focus here on why I'm using limit orders to get in, to get out. You can see my hotkeys here. You can see the hotkey that I'm using here to buy. So on the side, I got buy clicked there, and then I got my buying power clicked with 100%. So 100% of my buying power is going to get filled. I'm buying the ask like we talked about. I'm buying the ask with a limit order. So when I click my hotkey, this hotkey is going to send my order instantly. And the price of that is going to be $5.25. So my limit order is basically going to go through. My hotkey is going to go through at $5.25. So let's say here, so as soon as I hit my hotkey to buy, if the price on the level 2 is $5.25, like it is right now, as soon as I click my hotkey, I'm going to start to get filled at $5.25. If I have a large size order, I might not get the full fill, but my limit for that fill is going to be $5.25. No matter what, if the ask jumps up, let's say the ask goes to $5.50, I won't get filled any higher than $5.25. Now, let's say I go to click my limit order to get filled at $5.25, and all of a sudden the stock drops to $5. I will still get filled on the way down. So that's the maximum that I'm willing to pay for the stock at $5.25, and really the minimum is anything below $5.25. So if the stock does very rapidly drop down, you could get lower fills and it'd be better off depending on the price action. But I just want to make this video kind of explaining why I'm using limit orders to enter and to exit trades. The big thing for me is having control and understanding that these stocks that are really volatile, that are really crazy, if I go to sell it with a market order and all of a sudden the stock drops, well, I might get a really bad fill. Same idea. If I'm looking to buy the stock and it's really volatile, it's going crazy, and I only want to pay $5.25, if I use a market order, I might get filled at $5.50 depending on the overall price action. So that's why I'm using a limit order to buy, to sell, and all of that fun stuff. Same vice versa if I'm shorting. If I'm shorting and I'm going to sell it and I want to get short at $5.20, same idea. I'm using a limit order and I'm selling 1,000 shares there at $5.20 on the bid. So I'm always hitting the bid to sell, and I'm always buying on the ask. So if I'm short, if I'm long, no matter what, if I'm buying the stock, I'm buying on the ask. If I'm selling the stock, I'm selling on the bid. So shorting and buying, selling, long, and all that. So there it is. Limit orders. Why you should really focus on using limit orders, understanding how limit orders work, and why limit orders are important for trading these very volatile, crazy stocks, these low float movers that we trade. There it is. Limit orders, limit orders, limit orders, limit orders, limit orders. I will talk to you guys later on. If you haven't already, do me one big favor, hit that subscribe button.